Joseph Campbell said, "The cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." Fear, what a great topic. Just felt led to talk about this. And I think I'm one of the experts on not only fear, but moving through it. I live a lot of my life in fear to let it play a major role. And I know by saying that I'm like everyone else, and with everything that's going on and all the unknowns. And I think people are starting to really kind of get weary. Fear is really, that's the biggest virus. That's what we're really facing right now is fear. And it's contagious. And, we can exist in one of two places. We can exist in a place of love, or we can exist in a place of fear. But we can't do them both simultaneously. It's like you can't smile and frown at the same time. And I want to talk a little bit more about what I've learned about fear and what it does to our body. And it really boils down, it starts with I'm not going to go into detail on the HPA, but it's the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal gland. Google the HPA circuit and the impact that it has on your body. But in short, it's that fight or flight. Our subconscious mind, that part that keeps our heart beating, makes us breathe, that keeps us alive. It doesn't understand that. It doesn't understand if something is actually happening or if you're just afraid of it. It doesn't have the ability to discern that. So what happens when we go into fight or flight mode, our body thinks that a lion or tiger is chasing us. That's how we were built, to be able to get away from dangerous situations. But what it does, it releases stress hormones that really ravage our body from the moment that we go into that state. And so many of us live in a fearful mindset, a fearful place in life, that we're constantly in that fight or flight. Our body thinks we're needing to run from a tiger. Our blood rushes away from our viscera, from our gut. We're pretty much, what I've learned, most all health originates with gut health. That's why probiotics and things like that in our diets are so critical. But when the blood rushes to the extremities, it does that so we can get away and run if we need to. It doesn't know the difference. If you're just thinking about something that you're afraid of, and when it's not just thinking about it, it's when you dwell on it and think about it over and over and over. It has a really damaging effect. So these stress hormones, your body goes into fight or flight. It releases stress hormones. It causes inflammation. And it also shuts down the immune system. It's been proven that stress hormones shut down the immune system. Not only has it been proven in transplant surgery, I used to call on transplant surgeons and vascular surgeons and stuff when I was doing medical sales. Like in transplant surgery, they actually give the recipient stress hormones to kind of knock out the immune system. So there's a clinical use for these hormones as well. And that's what fear does to us. One of the things I wrote about in my book, #ChooseHappy, a lesson that I kind of learned, and it really gets you back to the present moment. If it's not happening right now, it's not real. Does that mean that I practice that every day? Absolutely not. I have my moments. Like anyone else. But when you can have that awareness, when you catch yourself going on and on in a fear-based thing, oh shit, what if this happens? Oh God, what about this? What about this? If it's not happening right now, it's just not real, and you have to get yourself back to that present moment. These stress hormones are just flooding our bodies. They're doing all kinds of damage, and they're weakening your immune system. So technically, if you're afraid of getting sick with whatever's going around that's not supposed to be mentioned on YouTube, you're technically making yourself more susceptible to even getting it because of this fear, what the fear is doing to your body. And there's ways to get through fear. And, that's one thing that I'm doing, and I've been in the habit of doing, and making myself do something scary every day. Sometimes I've not had a choice, but I've really gotten in a habit of doing things that I'm afraid to do, doing things I don't feel like doing. And, the quickest way, and I can't remember, but there was a movie it was on the other day. I think it was We're the Millers. Anyway, yeah, it was. But he's giving advice to his, whatever, not really his kid, but fatherly like advice. And he's like, the way I learned to deal with fear is to count to 3 and do it. And it's so true. Because when we sit there and we are in a fearful state, when we're ruminating and thinking about, oh shit, well, what's going to happen tomorrow? What can I do about, what if this? What if that? When we are in that state, first off, we're not present at all. We're missing real life. Two, we're prolonging that thing that we're afraid of. And let's face it, you have 100% survival rate on everything that you feared. The worst fears of your life, if you're watching this, you're still fucking alive. You have 100% survival rate of all your fears and your worst days, okay? It's not real, so realize that. Whatever that is that you're afraid of, count to 3 and do it. Count to 3 and do it, and make an effort every day to do something that scares you. We've all been too comfortable, and all this shutdown, lockdown, all this stuff going on is really messing. I think it's taking everyone's, mind to the edge at times. There's just like so much unknown, and we're being thrust into a completely different way of life. And as long as we're allowing fear to be a dominant thought in our lives, we're missing life. We're missing life that happens right now, and the damage that we're doing to our immune system. It's just not worth it. So that's my advice. Make time to do small, scary things. I don't know if it's shit. Maybe you have a hobby and you're embarrassed to post your art or whatever. Do that. Start small, but make time every day. Do something that scares you. Count to 3 and do it. Fear will wreck your life. There's a great book, and I've done videos on it, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And it goes into detail about people on their deathbed. A lady that worked hospice wrote the book in Australia, and kind of compiled stuff and saw common trends, but they're all rooted in fear. And the top regret of the dying is, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life that others expect of me. And that just reeks of fear. They're afraid to be themselves. That's one thing I'm learning right now. Not everybody may like it, and I'm not trying to get everyone to like me. I'm trying to like myself. And it's scary to like yourself. It's scary to be yourself. It's scary to put yourself out there. But you know what? The alternative just sucks. Live life. Do something every day that scares you. You'll be grateful that you did. It can be small, but just count to 3 and do it. Fear takes more lives than any disease or anything, ultimately. Maybe not physical deaths, but wasted lives. Don't miss your life because of things that aren't happening right now. And guess what? If you ask yourself that question, if you're going to catch yourself in a fearful state, and you ask yourself, is it happening right now? If it is happening right now, guess what? Great news. That's the only damn time you can do anything about it. So do something scary today. Push yourself a little bit. The only way out is through. And as long as you're living your life and making excuses why you can't do certain things, why you're not doing certain things, why your life is the way that it is, they're ultimately rooted in what you're afraid of. It's just a fact. So true. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. Courage is a really big deal. Take that step. It's worth it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a happy now, because you can't be happy yesterday, can't be happy tomorrow. Go conquer that fear. Count to 3 and do it. Thanks everybody. Have a good day.